The question I asked you earlier. What did you graduate with, Samira?
So I graduated my bachelor with a second class lower.
Oh, cool. That means a lot of, yeah.
And I want to add that, like, when people see scholarships or they start to apply for scholarships, they are like, oh, but I don't have a first class.
Yeah.
Oh, my course is difficult. Maybe they will not believe in me, and everyone is different, and there is no magic. I always tell people that there is no magic with being chosen for a scholarship.
Yeah.
It depends on who is interviewing you and how they feel at the time. So it's not there is no set way to say, okay, if I do this and this and that, I will get the scholarship. It's based on how they choose you. So you shouldn't limit yourself like, I didn't get a first class, and so I'm not. I was excited. I was happy. It was like, oh my god,
scholarship money is nice, so scholarship money.
But the problem is, okay, it's just interview now. You have to go and prove yourself at the interview.
Yeah.
So that's gave me a bit of butterflies in my stomach, but
I was happy. In love.
I was
scholarship just gives her butterflies.
I was nervous, so it's natural. I was nervous. Okay. So I'm going to apply. It's not true.
Yeah, and one thing
don't assume you are not good enough for any scholarship. Don't care what they put on the list. Right. Just apply. You never know. I wasn't going to apply because I thought it was a private school and I wouldn't be able to get what I wanted, but eventually here I am. So I'll say, as Barbara said, believe in yourself.
And just go do it. Hello guys, and
hello.
When I'm relaxed, I'll introduce you when I give you.
Hi.
Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. As you know, I'm Aboagye, and today I have with me somebody. I have a big girl in the house today. So I have a big girl. So I'll leave it. I'll give her the chance for her to introduce herself. So like in the past, we have talked about scholarships, and today I have a French embassy scholar. Your friend was saying.
Yeah, Boursier.
Okay. Yeah,
Boursier du gouvernement français.
Okay, so I have a Boursier de gouvernement français. That's a French embassy scholar here. So she's going to share with us her experience, and we're just going to have some chit chat. So, big girl, please introduce yourself.
So my name is Samira Ali, and I came to France in September 2018 to study a master in embedded systems, electronic embedded systems. And what else should I do?
Okay, what did you do for your bachelor's degree?
Okay, so my bachelor was in electrical electronics engineering, and this was at the Regional Maritime University in Accra.
Oh, cool. So why did you choose France?
It was by chance.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It was, at first I was thinking of doing my master in the UK, but it was expensive.
I know, right?
And the funding was not very easy to find. I went everywhere. I searched Get Fund, scholarship secretariats. I went around everywhere, and eventually I stumbled on the French government scholarship. And I thought, well, they are not going to fund you to go to the UK. They are going to fund you to go to France. So then I started to search for schools in France that offered the course that I wanted to do. So then I found my school, which is ECGELEC. It's the École Supérieure d'Ingénieurs en Génie Électrique.
Oh, so you went to Granico?
Yes.
So yeah.
So actually, I didn't even understand any of that before I came. All I saw was this was a school. They had links with companies. It might be easy to get a job after. So I said, okay, let me apply to this. And I searched a lot of schools in France, and I only applied to this school and University of Bourgogne in Dijon.
Okay, so in the school in Dijon, what were you going to study?
it was close to the electronics, but they had a different name for it. But when I looked at the outline,
Fine, okay.
I didn't really like it.
Okay.
So I decided, even though I applied, I was praying that I would get ACGLEC.
Okay.
And eventually I did. So then they sent, when I applied, I didn't have any I didn't have a master plan as to how I'll fund it, but it was definitely cheaper than the UK.
Okay.
So I applied, I got it, because usually you do an interview, and then after the interview I got the application, the offer letter.
Okay. The university, the one in Dijon, did you also get into that?
Yes, I got an offer letter for Dijon,
Okay.
but eventually I stuck with ACGLEC.
Okay. Was the Dijon also just a university or was a Granico? Like, what was the fee structure?
It was quite cheap.
Okay.
It was way cheaper than ACGLEC. ACGLEC is more like a private grand école.
Okay.
It's not your typical grand école.
Granicos, okay.
It was quite expensive. ACGLEC cost around 15,000 euro for the 2 years.
Okay.
And in Dijon, I think it was about 5,000.
Okay.
It
Cool.
wasn't that much. And in Dijon, I would have done 1 year.
Okay, so you're going straight to the master too?
Yes, I was going straight to M2. Because
Okay.
in France, you have M1 and M2.
M2. Okay.
So I could have gotten into M2. In ACGLEC, I was given the option to go into M2 directly. So I would have joined in the following year, February.
Okay.
But I opted to start from M1 because I had been out of school for a long
Okay.
time.
Okay. So basically, the Grand École, they are the creme de la cremes in France. So it's like there are universities and there are Grand Écoles. So like the way like senior high school, we have the Presex, we have the Wesley Girls, like those schools. So basically, those are the Grand Écoles here in France. So that's why I was yeah. Okay.
Don't listen to me.
Okay. So you took how did you have the French embassy scholarship? You say you stumbled
I
upon it.
stumbled
How?
on it
How did-
online.
Okay.
But as I was searching for French schools, I got to know about Campus France.
Okay.
So then I went to the Campus France office, which is located on University of Ghana campus.
Yeah.
And I spoke to them, and then they told me about the different scholarship schemes that were available. And I asked how I could apply
Right.
for it. And after I told them the school I had applied for and gotten the admission, in fact, they were not very confident that the embassy might agree to fund it because it was very expensive. And the embassy doesn't, they have a limited amount that they give to scholars every year. So they were not sure. They normally fund the public schools. So being in a private school would have been dicey. We were not sure if I would get it or not. So I took a risk.
Which actually paid off.
Me being me, I took a risk, and I applied anyway. I said, well, I'll just apply, and whatever happens should happen.
Okay. So from what I understand, that was actually your first time of applying to the French embassy scholarship. You hadn't applied in the past.
Yes, exactly.
Yes or no?
I had never applied. I had never applied to the French government scholarship, and I had never heard of it. It was the first time.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, Samira. So, what was the procedure in applying for the French embassy scholarship once you heard about it?
So the first step, already they have the announcement on their website. So usually they have everything listed, the documents you need to present. You have to put your transcript, you have to put your reference letter from your school, and a bunch of other things, like the normal things that you would use to apply for any other scholarship, including your personal statement or the reason why you are asking for the scholarship.
Oh.
So you get all your documents together. At the time I was applying, because I know the rules have changed now. Now they have a kind of link with, I think, the scholarship secretariat,
Yeah.
where, because the French government scholarship is never a full scholarship, they only give you a part of it, and then the scholarship
Scholarship
secretariat to take the other half. In my time, they did not have that link, so it was purely a partial scholarship. So they have all those listed. So once you agree, you send your documents either by post to the cultural and I forgot what it's called, this SCAC of the French embassy in Ghana. And sometimes they will say you should bring it directly to the gate and leave it there, or you send by post. But then I decided to send it directly there because I didn't want any trouble with Ghana Post. So I put my documents in the envelope and then I sent it there. There's also an application letter.
You have to apply.
download.
Yeah. Did you also apply online? Because the previous video I was doing, they expect you to apply online and also to post them. So you didn't apply online.
No, they didn't want online
Okay.
applications at the time.
Okay, so now it's both you apply online and you also send it to them. Can you tell us what you graduated with for your undergrad? If you don't want to answer, you can decide not to answer.
No, I can answer because it's leading. It's like your question is leading to the interview process, I believe. Because it's so I'll just add everything.
Okay, so when we get to the interview process, okay, that's okay. Yes. So did you have an interview?
Yes. Okay. So after I applied, usually they release the announcement around late February, early March.
Okay, the announcement for the people they want for the interview?
The announcement they want for the applications.
Okay.
It's usually in March.
Okay.
Because the school term starts in September in France. It's the same in Ghana. So in March, you start looking out for the announcement, you do your application and everything. But it's a very quick process.
Okay.
It's not like some other ones. So in March, they receive all the applications. By the end of March, they end it and then they start to collate the numbers. So I received my positive letter or email. Usually they'll email you and say, okay, you've been selected for interview for this scholarship.
How did you feel?
I was surprised.
Okay.
I was amazed. I was excited. I was happy. It was like, oh my god.
Scholarship money is nice, so scholarship money.
But the problem is, it's just interview now. You have to go and prove yourself at the interview.
Yeah.
So that's gave me a bit of butterflies in my stomach, but
I was happy. In love.
I was
scholarship just gives her butterflies.
I was nervous, so it's natural. I was nervous.
Okay. So at the interview, what were some of the questions they asked you?
So basically they just wanted to know my background. They wanted to know why I chose the course I was going to do and the benefit it would bring to Ghana, like what kind of what is the future that I think of after the course, how would I use that to contribute to the Ghanaian economy. But they seem to be more interested in the why and then the what you will do with it after. More than anything else. And then later they ask the normal interview questions like like your strengths and how do you see yourself in 5 years those things. But it wasn't a very stern. I didn't feel too much tense. When I walked into the room I was tense, but as soon as we started to talk it became like a normal conversation.
Like what we are having right now.
Yes, it became like a normal conversation, so it wasn't that intense. But they will also ask you at the interview if they will explain everything about the scholarship, and then they'll tell you, okay, it is not a full scholarship. This is the part we'll pay. This is the part you will have to fund for yourself. So they will find out at the interview if you are willing to do that part, like if you are willing to fund the other half yourself, because they don't want to have to take people and then they will be complaining about it later on.
So back to the question I asked you earlier. What did you graduate with, Samira?
So I graduated my bachelor with a second class lower.
Oh, cool. That means a lot
So,
of, yeah.
and I want to add that, like, when people see scholarships or they start to
Yeah.
apply for scholarships, they are like, oh, but I don't have a
First
first
class,
class.
yeah.
Oh, my course is difficult. Maybe they will not believe in me, and everyone is different, and there is no magic. I always tell people that there is no magic with being chosen for a scholarship.
Yeah.
It depends on who is interviewing you and how they feel at the time. So it's not there is no set way to say, okay, if I do this and this and that, I will get the scholarship. It's based on how they choose you. So you shouldn't limit yourself like, I didn't get a first class,
Yeah.
and so I'm not going to apply. It's not true.
Yeah, and one thing I also want to chip in is it's your past, now it's your present, and that's why an interview is very important. An interview gives you the opportunity to let them know that, oh, this happened, but that's my past. It doesn't mean that I cannot be a better person. So in as much as sometimes we are scared of interviews, but interviews actually gives you a platform to let people know that this is what I can do. And if you like, I just need somebody to believe in me. So believe in me with your money. Okay, so do you know the number of people that got interviewed?
No, I do not.
Okay.
But and usually they would give you a time to arrive.
Okay.
So when you get there, the only people you will meet at the place is the person who was there before you,
Okay.
and maybe the person who is supposed to be there after
So
you
you-
if they come early. So
Okay.
we never met so many people
People.
at the same time. Yeah.
Okay. And do you know if you got chosen? Was there any special reason why you think that, oh, maybe I said this, that's why I got chosen, or because of this and that, that's why I got chosen? Do you have any idea?
In my head,
Okay.
I think it's because I had work experience. Because after my national service, I worked for 5 years offshore, and I was going to study. I have a bachelor in electronics, and I want to master in electronics.
Okay.
And my work for 5 years, with the experience and everything, I think it was a plus.
Okay.
I think that was a big plus for them because I had work experience, but I don't know for sure if it was that or not, but that's what I assume. That
Okay.
is because I had work experience, also because I'm female, and it was
And you're right.
it was an engineering field, and
Let's do this.
so maybe that's it, but it's just me. That's what I think.
Yeah, but I do not dispute the fact about, and it's very, very important. Like, if you're a female and you're in engineering, I believe it's a plus. Like, for me, I think most of the scholarships I got, I do believe that me being a female and me doing engineering was a plus. And I can talk, like, I know myself, so when I'm offered a platform, I will let you know. Yeah, apart from that, yeah, but yeah. So if you're a female, you didn't get good results, or maybe you're scared, like, we are in the period where they want more balance, they want more women, diversity,
women
and
in tech,
exactly. So
gender equity.
yeah, so you should make very good use of it if you're a female. Yeah. Was the money they gave you enough to sustain you when you came to France? Like, how much was given to you? So I'm sorry, your fees was 10,000. No, how much was your fees? 15,000. Did they pay all the 15,000?
The total fee was 15,000.
Okay.
But for my application to the school and securing my place in the school, I was asked to make a down payment, which was about 3,000. Yes, it was about 3,000 euros that I paid.
Okay.
And then the school itself also discounted my fee because of certain things. First of all, my GPA, which in Ghana would have been seen like, oh, it's a second class lower, it's not that, yeah, it's not a first class. But according to the French system, it was a very good grade. So
Oof.
I got a discount for my grade. And I also got a discount because I had a French language certificate. I had written the DELF A2. So if you could prove that you had A2 level of French, which is like a higher beginner level, you are not beginner, like a little higher than beginner, then they would discount another 1,000 euro or so. So I had a 2,000 euro discount off my fee. So in total, I had 5,000 off the 15,000, and the scholarship was the maximum. I maxed the scholarship because the maximum agreement for the scholarship was 5,000 euros on the fee per year.
Okay.
So that covered me. So the 10,000 was taken care of.
Okay. And how much did they pay for your feeding allowance, accommodation? I mean, she didn't even pay for the visa.
No, you don't pay for visa.
Yeah.
You don't pay for
health insurance.
Health insurance, yes, but eventually when I came to France, the French system had changed and everybody
so
was already getting
for
free, so it wasn't a problem. But yes, health insurance was a part of the scholarship, and your plane tickets
to and fro,
to and then from the place, yes, and with the visa, all the payments you had to make for legalization of your document and stuff like that, it was all covered. So visa processing and everything was free. So all of that plus your ticket plus they would give you at the time 440 euro per month.
Okay.
For your feeding. Let's
Okay.
say usually they say it's for accommodation, but
okay. That means you had to pay accommodation from that amount of money? Or they paid for accommodation separately?
No, I had to pay for accommodation.
From the 440?
From the 440, yeah.
That means because you're a French government scholar, that means you should have gotten probably a high CAF, or that one they didn't really care?
You do get a bit more CAF because you are a scholarship holder.
Okay.
But it's not that much.
Okay. How much was your accommodation? Let's just do a quick math. How much was your accommodation, if you remember?
When I first went to France, I was in cruise accommodation.
Yeah.
And we all know cruise is quite cheap.
Yeah.
So my first accommodation, the accommodation was 375 euro.
Okay.
And then I was getting a CAF of about 190.
Okay.
I think. I don't quite remember. I think that's it.
Okay.
So about 190. So, of course, the 440 that they would give me would cover my accommodation in this case.
Okay. There
is a catch. In fact, this is a very big advice. If you're ever in France, even after you sign any document, please read the fine print. Please read the fine print because you'll be surprised at things you find. So apparently, because I had to move after the first year, I had to move. Cruise had an issue with my school, and then they got rid of all of us. So you had to go and find new accommodation, and then I got into a new accommodation. It was more expensive, but I was able to talk to Campus France and told them, look, you are giving me 440 for accommodation, but I'm in a new accommodation where I had to pay, I think it was 410.
Okay.
I was to pay 410. So they said, oh, send us your contract. Because I had read in the document somewhere that if you find your owner, if Campus France does not find your accommodation and you find your own accommodation, they will give you a certain subsidy. They will give you some amount to make up for the difference.
Okay.
So I wrote to them and I asked, and then they asked for my contract and I sent it to them. So then I started getting 583 instead of 440 to cover my housing.
I even thought that by being a French government scholar, like you were sure that you were going to get cruise for the entire period, or it's not part of the contract.
Campus France is another topic for another day. That one is a different topic for another day. But we had a little back and forth before I even came to France, so I didn't want to have to deal with that anymore.
Okay.
Yes.
So the question was the money enough to sustain you in France? Like,
Yes.
was it enough?
Yes, it was. As long as you are smart about it, because already it's not a full scholarship, and you would have to prove that you have all of the other half
Okay.
before you come to France.
Okay.
So already you know that the other half I have will cover my feeding and everything.
Okay. How much did you have to show for this embassy? How much money did you have to show? Because when I was coming, it was 7,000. Then I think my school gave me a scholarship of, was it 4,000? No. How much did they give me? How much did we need to show? 7,000.
7,000. Usually,
yeah, I think they gave me
7,000.
5,000 or so. So I don't remember, either 4,000, 5,000.
Yes, in my case, I had to show, I think it was 3,000.
Okay.
Because the scholarship covers a bit more than half.
Okay.
So
So you had to
okay. Yes, because it's usually they say 700
per month.
Yes, about 650 or 700 per month.
Okay.
For 2 years, right? For 1 year.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Okay. During your studies, did you work?
No, I tried to look for a teaching job, like to teach English, but already my French wasn't that good, and I found an agency where they were taking young students to teach different things, including math or even languages. And then they told me I should go and improve my French and come back.
I also had a similar thing too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't.
And for the money they gave, were you able to save any? No, I don't think so. Because you even had to add your own money to it.
Oh yeah, but eventually, because I mean, my parents didn't abandon me. So
Okay.
once in a while they would send me some money.
Okay.
But I managed to save a bit.
Okay, cool. When I say save, I mean, were you able to save money from the money from your scholarship, or no, your own money? You were able to save some things.
From the scholarship, I would say not really.
Oh, okay.
From the scholarship, no. But if you don't spend too much of the money that you brought with you, you would have enough in store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Did you like your program?
Yes and no.
Okay, explain.
Yes, because the course was interesting and we did a lot of practicals. I mean, if you are from Ghana, you know that practicals is not our thing. We do a lot of theory and we don't do much practical. So I love the practical aspect. And no, because there were some teachers who didn't really, teach. They didn't offer themselves the way you were expecting, because they will come. Sometimes we had an intensive 1 week for a particular course, and it's just surface level,
Okay.
And that part I didn't really like, because those teachers were like visitors.
Okay.
They were external teachers that they brought in to come and teach because they don't have the people here in France. And then the teachers that we had who were resident in the school, they would teach more intensively because they had the time.
Okay.
But when someone has to travel to come and teach just for 1 week or 2 weeks, it was like really intense and not deep enough. That's the only part I didn't like. But generally, yes, I gained what I came for. Okay. So in the end, it was a win.
Okay. So you can see that the program was worth it?
Yes, for the most part.
Okay. Was the scholarship also worth it?
Very much so.
Okay. So I think it was a really impressive interview Samira has shared with you, everything. So if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section and do subscribe. So Samira, we will give us the last words, give us your closing remarks, then we can call it a day.
Closing remarks. Don't assume you are not good enough for any scholarship. Don't care what they put on the list.
Right.
Just apply. You never know. I wasn't going to apply because I thought it was a private school and I wouldn't be able to get what I wanted, but eventually here I am. So I'll say, as Barbara said, believe in yourself.
And just go do it. Okay. So bye.
Bye.